You ever sit in front of your desk staring at a task you know you need to do, but your brain just says, nope, not today? You open YouTube, you check your phone. Suddenly it's 11 p.m. and you've done nothing. Why does your brain act like a stubborn toddler? When it's time to do something hard, and how can you force it to obey? Today we're going to hack that lazy lump of neurons between your ears and learn how to make your brain do hard things even when every cell inside it screams, I don't wanna. First, you need to understand something. Your brain is not a productivity machine. It's a survival machine. It evolved in a world where the biggest threats were saber-toothed cats and starvation, not overdue essays, gym memberships, or taxes. To your brain, anything that burns energy without an immediate reward looks suspiciously dangerous. Hard work, deep thinking, emotional effort, all of that equals high effort, low survival benefit. So when you try to do something like study for an exam or start a business or write a paper, your brain quietly whispers, we could die doing this. Let's go eat something and scroll TikTok instead. Congratulations, you're not lazy. You're biologically cautious. But here's the thing, we're not cavemen anymore. Your brain still runs on ancient code that doesn't fit your modern life. So if you want to achieve something hard, you've got to outsmart your own biology. Imagine your brain as a stingy accountant named Bob. Bob's job is to protect your energy budget. When you start something difficult, say, learning calculus or cleaning the entire house, Bob immediately checks the books. This task looks expensive. High effort, low dopamine. Let's decline that purchase. That's why you feel resistance before starting something. Your brain literally predicts how much effort it will cost versus how much reward it'll bring. But here's the secret. Bob's prediction is almost always wrong. Once you start doing the task, the brain updates the budget and realizes, oh, this isn't so bad. That's why starting is the hardest part. So your first hack is simple. Don't try to do the whole thing. Just trick Bob into approving the first 5 minutes. Tell yourself, I'll just open the file and type one sentence, or I'll just go to the gym parking lot. 5 minutes later, your brain's inertia shifts. Dopamine starts trickling in, and suddenly Bob stops complaining. Let's talk dopamine, the most misunderstood chemical in your skull. It's not the pleasure molecule. It's the motivation molecule. Your brain releases dopamine not when you get the reward, but when you expect one. It's the chemical that says, something good might be coming, keep going. That means if your hard task feels like an endless grind with no reward in sight, your brain won't bother releasing dopamine. No dopamine, no drive. So how do you fix that? You create micro rewards. Break a big goal into tiny bite-sized wins. Instead of, I need to write a 10-page report, make it, I'll write 1 paragraph, then I get a coffee. Instead of, I need to run 5 miles, make it, I'll run to that tree, then walk for a bit. You're basically training your brain like a dog. Give it a treat for every step forward. Over time, dopamine becomes your ally, not your enemy. Your brain doesn't judge based on logic. It judges based on feeling. If a task feels overwhelming, your brain labels it as dangerous. So here's a trick used by elite athletes and Navy SEALs. They lower the activation energy, the amount of effort it takes to start. Want to work out? Sleep in your gym clothes. Want to eat healthy? Put the fruit bowl on your desk and hide the chips. Want to study? Keep your textbook open on the exact page you need before you go to bed. The goal is to make the first step so ridiculously easy that your brain can't say no. Once you start, momentum takes over. Here's a simple behavioral hack from psychology. If something is hard to start, make it easier. If something is easy but bad for you, make it harder. Want to stop checking your phone? Put it in another room. Want to read more? Keep a book on your pillow. The idea is to use friction as a tool. Add friction to bad habits, remove friction from good ones. Even a 20-second barrier like walking to another room or waiting for an app to load can stop impulsive behavior cold. Your brain is lazy. Make laziness work for you. Here's a weird fact. Your brain uses the same dopamine system for both pain and pleasure. When you push through discomfort, like running in the cold or tackling a hard project, your brain later rewards you with a surge of dopamine after you finish. It's biology's way of saying, hey, that suffering actually paid off. Good job. But if you constantly chase easy pleasures, snacks, scrolling, quick entertainment, your brain gets flooded with dopamine up front, then crashes later. You feel empty, restless, and less motivated over time. So paradoxically, The way to get more pleasure from life is to embrace controlled discomfort. Do hard things, voluntarily, repeatedly. It resets your dopamine system and trains your brain to link effort with reward, instead of avoidance. Let's be honest, logic doesn't always win. You can tell yourself 1,000 times that working out is good, but emotions rule the brain. So, use them. Imagine your future self 5 years from now watching you from the sidelines. That version of you is either proud or disappointed. Visualize that clearly. If you skip the hard thing, you're stealing from that future person. This emotional visualization activates the anterior cingulate cortex, the part of your brain that processes empathy and motivation. It tricks your brain into caring about long-term outcomes like they're happening now. Basically, emotional blackmail, but make it self-improvement. Okay, here's the twist. You can't actually force your brain to do anything. What you're really doing is reprogramming the reward system so the hard thing feels easier. You're not fighting your brain, you're negotiating with it. Your brain is like a giant sleepy elephant, and your rational mind is the tiny rider on top. If you try to whip the elephant, it'll throw you off. But if you guide it gently with rewards, tiny wins, and clear direction, it'll walk miles for you. So when people say discipline beats motivation, that's only half true. Discipline is what gets you started. But understanding your brain's operating system, that's what keeps you going. Every time you push through resistance and finish something hard, your brain remembers the pattern. Effort, reward, feels good. That's called a behavioral loop. Do it often enough, and hard work stops feeling like pain. It starts feeling like identity. That's how top performers, entrepreneurs, and athletes seem naturally disciplined. They've trained their brain's wiring. What feels impossible for others feels normal for them. And here's the cool part. This process is reversible. If you stop doing hard things, your tolerance drops. So it's not about being born disciplined. It's about staying in the loop. Let's sum this up. Your brain resists hard things because it's protecting you, not sabotaging you. To override that ancient software, you need to outsmart it. Start small. Trick your brain into just beginning. Use dopamine. Create micro rewards and celebrate small wins. Lower friction. Make good habits easy and bad ones annoying. Embrace discomfort. Let effort become your new source of pleasure. Stay in the loop. Effort, reward, memory, growth. Do that consistently, and one day you'll notice something strange. The hard things start feeling easy, and the easy things start feeling boring. That's how you know your brain has finally switched sides. So what's the one hard thing you've been avoiding lately? Cleaning that room? Starting that side project? Breaking that habit? Try the 5-minute rule. Trick your brain. Start small. Watch what happens. If this video helped you understand your mind a little better, hit that like button, share it with a friend who needs a push, and subscribe for more Science Meets Life stories like this one. Remember, your brain's not the enemy. It's just waiting for better instructions. Now go give it some.